Hey guys, welcome to Speak Audibly's 100% Me podcast. It's your host, Mike Wilson. Call me Coach Mike. And today we have an amazing episode for you with Miss Evonne Sever. But before we jump into that, if you know anyone who says, you know what, I've been doing this business thing, or I'd like to get into this business thing, but I don't know how to get started, send them our way. There's a link in the show notes below to get started. Now, let's jump into that interview with Miss Evonne Sever. All right, guys. As I said in the introduction, I am here with Miss Evonne Sever. Is it Sever or Sever?
It's Sever. It looks like Sever, but it's Sever.
It's
so
Evonne Sever. And so, Evonne, before we dive into anything too crazy, just let the audience know right now just a little more about yourself, about your business, about your family.
Awesome. So I'm Evonne Sever, and I own Evonnes Engravings, and it's a laser engraving business. And so I do lots of cool different things. I can make those custom cutting boards. I make jewelry. I did a last minute anniversary gift for somebody recently with a sign. I do round signs. If you want something engraved or if you want something custom, I'm your person. Usually I wear jewelry, but headphones don't let you. I have these cute little feather earrings that are dangles. So I'm a fan of them, but that's like a very short thing of my business. Who I am. I never thought I would have an engraving business. It's never like something I was planning on doing. I have a degree in neuroscience from BYU, and I used to be pre-med. And then my junior year of college, I met this really handsome guy named Trent. We actually did so I was trying to date his roommate, and so his roommate's like, we had done a Ragnar style race. So it's a 200-mile relay with 12 people, and then you like run. So I did Top of Zion in Utah. It was beautiful with him. And then he was doing another one. He's like, and it was way shorter. It's called Rivalry Relay. And he's like, hey, I need another runner. And so I did it. And then there was this very handsome, incredibly fast guy there named Trent. And we barely talked at all. And then 2 weeks later, we just met though. And I was like, wow, he's so fast. And then 2 weeks later, I messaged him on Facebook and was like, hey, let's hang out and be friends and stuff. And he was like, yeah, when you messaged me, I knew you liked me. Because
Come on.
He was like, I knew. So he's really funny. But and then he's like, do you want to do a race with me tomorrow? And I did. And at the time he was actually like riding a girl back home and going on dates with like these two other girls. But at the end of the day, and my husband's a bit of a nerdy guy, so like every time I tell somebody that, they're like, whoa, Trent's got some game. Like, where did that come from? Like, because he's kind of a quiet, stoic guy. So, but yeah. And then we got married 9 months later. And then we had, let's see, Vienna. I had her like a year later after that. So yeah. And then my family, so I have my husband and I have my two girls, Lily, who's about to be 5, and Vienna is, I know, right? Like she shouldn't be 5 yet. She's starting kindergarten next year. It's totally like
by so quickly.
I know, it's crazy. And then I have an 18-month-old named Vienna, and she is fierce and a warrior, and she's gonna give me wrinkles and gray hair because so Lily is my easy go with the flow 5-year-old that never climbed on anything, doesn't hit, just she's like, oh well, children are easy, so I need another one. Vienna, crazy. The girl's nuts. Like she hits and kicks when she's mad. She angry bit me yesterday because I wouldn't let her in the fridge, so she had a timeout. And then she climbs on everything. So I've caught her on top of our piano. She's climbed up a ladder. she got on top of her play kitchen, like the very top to get to the light switches.
Wow.
And then yesterday she used, and I don't even know how she did it. So we have like a little bathroom stool for Lily, and she managed to use this 5 stool to like climb on top of her bathroom countertop. Apparently it was enough to like get her.
Wow.
Anyways, so that girl's crazy. And then my husband's a teacher, so we're saving money to buy a house. And just to make my life crazier, we live at my parents' house.
For sure.
So we're saving money, but I also am I'm one of 8 kids. So it's a madhouse here because my sister, her husband, and her son live here. Then my 2, so there's 11 people living in my house right now, and it's just totally crazy every day. And we just kind of go with the flow.
Wow.
So
11 people.
Yeah. 11 people in this house. It's just madness.
That is a party. That is a party
every day. And the amount of food we eat is disturbing too,
Wow.
right? So like I'll make like a vat of food, and then like I'll be like, next day I'm like, all right, leftovers. There is
gone. Just gone.
They're gone. Like, and then I have and so my younger brothers that live here, let's see, Seth is 4 years younger than me, so he's like 24, and then Jason's 21, or he's turning 21 this year. So they're hungry boys that just like come in this whirlwind. You don't see them all day. They're in their like rooms in their caves, and they're like food, and then they like come out and like all this food, and this whirlwind happens, and then like they disappear back into their caves,
like the Tasmanian devil in the Looney Tunes cartoon. Just
just flying through. That would be a description of
that. Is crazy. 11 people in there, and but first off, Lily sounds amazing. I can't wait to meet her after all this coronavirus stuff. And Vienna, well, she reminds me a lot of my second son as well. Just their boldness. It's like how'd you get up there? Like, what is happening? No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me, first and foremost, neuroscience. What got you excited about neuroscience that you'd get a degree?
Oh, yeah. So when I was about 16, so like I said, I have 7 siblings. My oldest brother was applying to medical school. He's now a podiatrist, right? So when I was 16, I was like in the car with my mom one day, and we were just like driving somewhere, and she's like, looks at me and she goes, just so you know, you're just as smart as your brother Joseph, and you could go to medical school if you wanted to. And I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. Sold. Done. Mom's just given me the boost of confidence for my life. And so I'm number 6 of 8. So I had 5 siblings ahead of me go through college at that point.
Wow.
So I was very well prepared for like the application process. So I was like, brains are cool. I'm going to go do neuroscience. Like brains are amazing. And I really do think brains are so cool. So, I mean, I could talk about brains for hours unscripted, which I don't know if you'd want me to do it.
We're not quite that fest. Podcast, but
we're not that kind of podcast. So we're talking about business here. Right.
Wow.
So
wow. I couldn't imagine, because like you said, I mean, first off, the brain is just remarkable, and
it's amazing.
So for you to go into neuroscience, wow. So break this down. Okay, so your oldest brother is a podiatrist, you said.
So he's a podiatrist, so instead of medical school, you go to podiatry school, and you specialize in the feet. And he's super awesome. He actually he's a doctor in Grapevine. So if you ever need a podiatrist, Dr. Joseph Harvey, I'll just plug him because I love him so much. He's great.
In the show notes below.
Notes below. Yeah, he is rear ankle certified. He's awesome. He worked really hard to get there. I'm super proud of him. So, and then let's see. So that's my oldest brother, Joseph. So what were you going to ask? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
And then what
I
are
talk a lot.
what did everyone else kind of do, those five before you, that would make you like, okay, I'm going to college too then?
Oh yeah. I'm going to go. Okay. So let's see. So Joseph is the oldest. And then there's my sister, Catherine, and she is brilliant. She got a double major in horticulture and entomology and graduated summa cum laude. She now stays at home with her son, and she's very happy about that. But at the time, she was still in college. And then there's my sister, Jennifer, and she got a degree in sociology. Then there's my brother, Aaron, and he has a math degree. And then there's my brother, Jared, and he is a periodontist. So he specializes in the mouth and the gums.
Goodness.
And he has been in school. So all of them, well, especially Joseph and Jared, have been in school forever.
Yeah.
So, and they both recently just started practicing in the past few years. So they're like, finally, they're like, yay, we're in our 30s and 40s and we're like starting to make money. This is great.
Yeah.
Right. So,
wow.
So as you can see, there was some shoes to fill. So I was like, I'm going to do neuroscience.
Yes. Yes.
So
that is just crazy. Yeah. When your degrees kind of start sounding like dinosaurs and your job title is like, periodontist and
oh yes,
it's like these are like
podiatry.
dinosaurs, man. Like these are, you have done some big things in your life, dog.
They have
awesome.
Worked super hard. They've been very diligent, and they're very good examples to me. So
I guess that's the next question, because of you guys, all of you guys, this work ethic. I mean, because all of you have, it's just crazy how many degrees and the type of degrees. These aren't like just little things that you have accomplished, and now you have your own business. And you guys, when she talks about her engravings, those earrings, they have so much detail. Like I've seen laser printing, I've seen people working with lasers, I've seen people engraving things, but not to the detail. I mean, that's actually what got me and Evonne talking. We met at a business summit, and I'm looking at these earrings like, how in the world did anyone cut into wood? Like the depth and it's just amazing. And we'll make sure to get your links and stuff here later in the show. But what gave you and all of your siblings that sort of drive? Is that something that your parents kind of have? Or
I think, I think it's so, we are all part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's also, we're Mormon, right?
For sure.
So, but they try, the church is asking us not to say that anymore and to say the full name. So I'm really trying hard to do that. But an emphasis in the church is to look at your family history and your genealogy. And so we could have a podcast all about my grandpa. So he passed away before I was born, but my dad has been very good to tell stories about that. And my grandpa, when he was 15, he ran away from home, worked for a year, lied, joined the Navy, was in World War II. He started his own, after that, he started a commercial plumbing business, and my dad worked there. And my dad also, his work ethic is insane. The man, well, and I don't know if he'll ever retire, because he still is working and he's still at the top of his game, and he just works super hard. And it's good to see. My dad, he never half tries on anything. He does a full job, even if he's been salaried for years, but he still will work the overtime, and it's impressive. So just that whole family of work. On my mom's side, we have Swedish immigrants that came in, and they suffered a lot of racism. And at the time, even though it's crazy, because you think, oh, they're just white people coming in, nobody's going to care. But like, right, they would call them dumb Swedes, and they'd say all these things. So my I'm trying to think, she'd get the Women's Journal and try so hard to get people not to be mean to them, because she'd try and like do all the fashions and things at the time. But so, and then they became farmers in Idaho, and that's just a hard life too. So work ethic that comes from my whole family that kind of has gone down. And my mom's been a stay-at-home mom with 8 kids, but she is just, I mean, she works hard too. She made all of our meals. We never went out to eat. We always had clean clothes, laundry. The house was always clean. She took us to piano lessons, soccer lessons, everything. So, I mean, my whole family's got this work thing, though. It's very interesting because I'm the only one that's like doing a business. So
For sure.
the rest are all just, so I feel like that's kind of different, but we've got this work ethic instilled from my parents and like my whole family. And it's also really nice to hear those stories, to know that people have overcome and achieved in my family. Like my grandpa, I don't even think he finished high school, but he ran a whole successful plumbing company. He was amazing in the Navy. And so there's so many crazy stories that go with my grandpa. So
No, that's,
and his childhood was really hard too. I mean, my grandpa's childhood, his I can't remember what happened, but they ended up having to live with their uncle for a while, and he would just go leave them on his farm for like 3 months at a time and be like, there's some potatoes in the cellar, I'm going to go into town with my current girlfriend and just leave you guys. And so he would have to like go trap and shoot. So my grandpa is an incredible man. And I'm really sad I never got to meet him, but I feel like I know him because my dad has been so amazing at telling his stories and spending time with us and all that stuff.
Wow.
So
No, that is awesome. And I feel like that's a lot of what we, in kind of today's world, we kind of miss that real storytelling. Because in the beginning, right, that's how family lineages and legacies even survived, were through the stories that we would tell, right? So that's awesome. So let's break this down, because you guys sound like you have a firm foundation of just hardworking individuals in your bloodline, right? So it's in your blood to work hard.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
in my blood.
So when it comes to your business, what got you into the engraving? I mean, you went from neuroscience degree to working with lasers and engraving. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I worked part-time in college, and I was trying to, at the time, score a library job, because those are like one of the most coveted jobs on campus, because they work around your school schedule. The library is not open past 10 o'clock, and it's on campus. So you can like work for 2 hours, run to class, come back. So anyway, so I ended up working at the science and engineering help desk. And at the time, my boss was slowly transforming it into a makerspace. So I learned to do 3D printing there, and then he got a laser engraver, and so I learned how to do that too. And after a while, I was doing that, and I was like, and people were coming all the time to get random things engraved, and it was really interesting, and I started really getting into it. And then I started giving people gifts when I got to use that laser for free. And then when we moved to Texas and we kind of want some side income, I was like, I could just get a laser and start a business.
There you go.
And that's what I did. So
that is awesome.
I got a hobby concept of if I could even run a business. I also started taking some business classes at the local community college around here, because I didn't want to just go blind into this. And then I started it. Eventually, I'm hoping to grow and get a much bigger laser so I can lower my prices and make way more stuff. So that is the goal.
That's awesome. Because I mean, I have a lot of realtor friends who watch the show, and individuals who have their own businesses who give those sorts of gifts. So I'm really intrigued by this, because you're able to customize just about, it seems like, anything.
The only thing I really can't do is metal, because I don't have a fiber laser, but I do have a metal inking, so I can ink a metal onto something. And then I can't do vinyl, because that'll make chlorine gas in my laser, and not only will it destroy my lungs, it'll destroy the laser too. So no, we don't want that. Vinyl or any plastics with PVC in it, I can't do, but I can do acrylic. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I try to engrave whatever I can.
Yeah. So tell me, what goes in, what kind of skill? Because I know some people are like, oh, that sounds like a great business, I want to jump into that. I'm crafty. What kind of skill goes into these laser engravings?
Yeah, so there's different skills, and people kind of cater their business to different aspects of it, because a lot of people are jumping into the laser engraving business. It's like desktop lasers are almost becoming the new Cricut. So very curious. I will see, but you have to set yourself apart. So you have to be able to design. And so you can there's a couple different softwares you use. I use Illustrator because that's where what I learned at my job.
Sure.
And then there's the software that you put it into for your type of laser. So I have a Glowforge, and it's really easy. You just upload the file, drag it on there, click print, and go. Some lasers are a little harder. I used a Boss laser at my job, so they use that software is called RDWorks, and so you have to import into there and then import it to a drive and then plug it in and print. So it depends. So, and if you can't design, everybody is getting into it, so you can buy files on Etsy if you want.
Okay.
But I feel like you're going to get a very cookie cutter business doing that, and I don't feel like you're going to be able to stand apart because you're not making your own stuff, and you can't personalize that way. But some people can, do what they want. So there's a design aspect, and there's also a knowledge of lasers aspect, because you need to be able to service and maintain your machine. And so you have to know how to cut things. You need to know about focal lengths. Actually, my degree, I had to take a physics class, and you learn about lasers and physics. And it's actually, I never thought my physics class would have such real life applications as it does now, but it does. So there's a knowledge of lasers, and you can learn so much online. And then also there's a knowledge of materials and what cuts and how it cuts and different things like that. So like there's different types of woods, different hardnesses. You can actually even do some bone work too. You just need to make sure you're wearing a respirator when you do that, because bone fragments can hurt your lung. Yeah, like bone. So like, for example, have you seen like really fancy straight razors that people have?
Yes.
So you can get really thin bone and cut out. They're called scales. So the handles to that. So you can cut that out. I've had a request for that. He ended up not doing it because he ended up just having me do some Bolivian rosewood scales instead. They were gorgeous. So, but yeah, so
yeah, because when you first said
there's a lot of.
It was a bit of a red flag. I was like, hold on, bone work. Let me. I know people do tattoos. I got tattoos, but
tattoos, bones. Like you can do ram's horn, or like, so some people want gun grips, if that's, and you can get. So there's a really popular gun. It's a 1911, and people love to customize the handles to that. So you can get camel bone grips and like do India ink on them. It's super cool.
And so you're able to actually do that on the handgun grips as well, depending on the material that's on that grip, right?
Grip. Yeah. So like there's like a gun engraving group that I'm a part of, and this guy, all he does is like gun grips for that.
Wow.
And they're super cool. So
wow.
Because I'm always trying to learn more new techniques and all that stuff with my laser, because I've got to, I've got to, be the expert, stay top of mind, and I've got to like keep learning to keep myself ahead of the curve, because everybody's starting to get these lasers, right? It's very funny. It's like the cricket. Everybody thinks it's a get rich quick scheme, and then they find out you actually have to run a business with it. It's very funny. So
yes. Yeah. And that's exactly it, guys. I mean, as a business coach of sorts, as a partner without equity to people, that's one of the things that is like the biggest surprise, I feel like, to new business owners, is that you actually have to have some sort of unique selling proposition, because there's a lot of people doing a lot of the same things. Because and that's good to have. That competition is good, but you have to have what makes you stand out. And so that's awesome that you have that, and that you are able to personalize those things in such a way. So who right now are kind of your target audience right now? Who's your target buyers?
Such a broad audience, and I love learning so much. I'm like, I could do this and I could do this. But in business, if everybody's your customer, nobody's your customer.
That's it.
So I am really working on that. But right now I'm really trying to I have a couple things. So I do vendor shows on occasion, and that's a very different clientele. So that's going to be people who want Christmas gifts, ready-made things, and not necessarily like customized on the spot.
Sure.
But I'm also trying to do client gifts for people. So realtors are kind of a big deal to me right now, because you can do the custom cutting boards, the custom Christmas ornaments. I designed an ornament for somebody, and it had like it said Home Sweet Home on the front, and it was a little house. And on the back, it had the Remax logo, and then it had their home team on it. It's a cool little design. And so I really want realtors right now. And also I just did a race. So every like 5K you do, or any cycling, triathlon, if you finish, you get a medal of some sort. So I made a really cool one for the Rockwall Rotary Club. Wow. And so those kind of orders are really kind of what I'm targeting now, because they're bigger orders. My profit margins are good, and it's easier than me just making a bunch of little knickknacks in my spare time. It's just way more effective for me personally. So that's awesome. For what I'm trying to do, because I stay at home with my kids too, and this is more of a side business. So
that is awesome. So if you are a realtor, or really anyone who's looking to give some sort of client gifts, especially if you're trying to get something that is unique, something that is special at heart for you and your clients, be sure to contact Evonne. Now, Evonne, tell us real quick, what are the best ways to contact you? Any social media platforms?
So the best way to contact me is through my Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/Evonnes Engravings, all lowercase, no apostrophes. And then, or you can check me out on my Etsy shop as well. It's etsy.com/shop/Evonnes Engravings, no apostrophes, all lowercase. And that is, if you message me on Facebook, that's going to be best for custom orders. And then if you just want to buy some of my stuff outright, check out my Etsy shop. I also return all messages on Etsy. So either way, those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome, guys. And those links will be in the show notes below. So if you are looking for some sort of gift, or if you're just kind of like, I kind of want some of them earrings or something that Evonne has, check out her Etsy shop, and be sure to click that link below, and it'll get you there. So Evonne, last question. Okay. When it comes to just Batman, The Dark Knight, I love the movie, especially back in the early 2000s when it first came out. It was like, yes, this is awesome. But the last scene of the first Dark Knight movie, it shows Batman, and he kind of has taken the blame for the Harvey Dent death. And so he says, a hero. And so he begins to just run into the darkness, right? And there's cops coming and the dogs, and he's just running, and it kind of goes black until the next movie comes out, right? So let's say you were to have to go off the grid for whatever reason. You have to go into the darkness and get off of social media. What would be your last kind of word of encouragement for the people who are listening to this show right now?
So this is a quote from Jordan Peterson that I'm going to really butcher right now, but life is hard, but you're tough as hell and you can get through it. So you are tough, you're strong. Things are always going to be hard. We're always going to have our ups and downs. But if you are I don't like to say people are to be positive. I'd like to say be proactive, because when you're proactive, things slowly change and can get better. So you're tough and be proactive, because you're great. You're a human being, and we all need to love each other because we're all human beings. And I think that's awesome. My note into the darkness.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's exactly it, guys. You're tough, be bold, step out, do your thing. Just like Evonne has stepped out and has her own business amongst an amazing support system of family. But guys, I so appreciate Evonne for her heart for people, because at a time when I was really trying to figure things out, like I said, we met at a business summit, and there were some hurdles that I was trying to jump in my own business. And Evonne was one of those key individuals who spoke into it. And so her heart for people is just amazing. Be sure to check out her links below, get something from her Etsy shop. Be sure to get those clients what they deserve this year. I mean, Christmas is coming up, guys. Come on. The holidays are here. Go ahead and get those gifts ready for family members. But thank you guys so much for watching. And Evonne, thank you so much for being here and sharing your heart, sharing your story, and sharing your business with us.
Yeah. Anytime.
Guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode with Miss Evonne Sever. Again, if you own any sort of business, whether you're a realtor or really anyone else who has client gifts, be sure to go into the show notes below, click on the links, and contact Evonne. See what she can make for you and customize for your clients. Now, guys, again, with Speak Audibly Business Coaching and Strategists, I hope that you guys understand that if you are trying to start a business or know someone who is and need help getting that thing off the ground, we're here for you. Go into the show notes, reach out to us. We'd love to get you started. Again, my name is Coach Mike, and thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Talk to you soon.